You're listening to the AstroMommy Daily Horoscope, a forecast that hopes to shine a light in the dark, helping us all see where we've been, where we are, and where we're going. Whether you're a first-time listener or a long-time subscriber, thanks for being here. I truly appreciate you being in the AstroMommy community. I hope you enjoyed today's horoscope and card reading. If you would like to support the AstroMommy Newsletter, there are several ways to do so. Subscribe on Substack, share it with a friend, schedule a reading, check out my family's Etsy shop, Metaphysical Flamingo, or just leave a tip. Without further ado, here is the Daily Horoscope. Dory was right, but now what do we do? Swimming among the jellyfish, Moon Square Neptune, and the Circle card. Daily Horoscope for Monday, March 27th, 2023. Good morning, friends. How was your weekend? I want to remind everyone that I will be taking Wednesday and Friday off this week as per my March schedule. Okay, let's get into the astrology. On Monday, the moon is in Gemini, and she's slowed down a bit, doing only 12 degrees 28 minutes per day instead of 14 degrees per day like she was doing last week. She has also gone out of bounds, as she has reached a declination of 25 degrees 57 minutes. Mars is also still out of bounds, and he has been since last October. Out of bounds means that the declination of the moon, the distance that she is either north or south from the celestial equator, is further than the obliquity of the Earth, which is 23 degrees 30 minutes of arc. The obliquity of the Earth is caused by the tilt of the Earth's axis in relationship to the sun's path, the ecliptic. The sun is bound to this area of our sky and can only travel as high up as the Tropic of Cancer and as low down as the Tropic of Capricorn, thus giving us the seasons. But the planets and the moon are not bound to this plane. So what the heck does an out-of-bounds moon mean symbolically? According to astrologer Stephen Forrest, quote, "The out-of-bounds moon is spontaneous, emancipated, liberated, released in its own recognizance, and utterly on its own. It has loudly proclaimed, 'You can take this job, marriage, church, obligation, moral principle, town duty, and shove it.' The moon has claimed its genius, its passion, and its right to be itself. No need to obfuscate, to be diplomatic, or to lie to anyone anymore, unless you feel like it. No more coprophagous grin. No need to worry about staying in anyone's good graces. Out of bounds, the moon no longer plays the game. It rejects all rules that are not of its own making. Free at last, thank God Almighty we are finally free at last," said Martin Luther King Jr., unquote. The Gemini moon usually wants to socialize, play games, and talk nonstop, but with the out-of-bounds energy, we have a wild card moon all week. She doesn't come back to within the obliquity of the Earth until Friday, March 31st, 2023. Mercury at 17 degrees Aries, 17 minutes, forms a semi-square to Saturn, now at 2 degrees Pisces, 17 minutes, at 3:19 p.m. Eastern Time. So the way in which people think today could get really narrow-minded and serious. There could be ideas that get vetoed because they are too broad, or people could get interrupted and cut off by an authority figure that literally just says, "Nope, we're not doing it that way." Mercury in Aries wants to talk fast, do fast, and leave fast. But Saturn in Pisces wants to make sure that what you are talking about has meaning, what you want to do has a spiritual backbone, and where you want to go has structure. Let's pause for a moment and talk about Saturn in Pisces. Pisces is the fish's constellation, and I feel like since this constellation is literally two fish swimming in opposite directions, the symbolism is one of division, like there are two different viewpoints or paths or methodologies, and Saturn coming in here is like a cosmic dog walker. But in this case, he's wrangling fish, so he's a cosmic fishwalker, if you will, and he's trying to keep them harnessed, controlled, and subdued, so they stop swimming and pulling in two different directions. The only way, really, to do that with Pisces is to hold the energy in a vessel of some sort, for water conforms to its container, and so I feel like Saturn is trying to provide a solid, unyielding container, which seems to manifest as an organized religion, a corporation, a facility, a program, or a rehabilitation center, etc. Somewhere that has a very strict and organized environment that has the intention of creating the structure for the Piscean energy to crystallize upon. Saturn is crystallization, and this idea reminds me of a recent science experiment my daughter just did, where she had to make sugar crystals form in water. She heated some water and dissolved sugar in it and placed a string in the water, and over time, sugar crystals formed on the string. Well, Saturn is the string that allows the sugar in the water to latch on and grow and become something recognizable, seemingly out of the invisible. Okay, back to the horoscope. After forming beneficial sextiles to Chiron, Mercury, and Jupiter, all in Aries, the Gemini moon is headed for a square to Neptune at 9:39 p.m. Eastern Time tonight. This could make for an okay day that starts to get foggier and foggier as time progresses forward. It's like relatively smooth sailing, but you see a big fog bank ahead, and there's nothing you can do except go through it as cautiously as you can. It kind of reminds me of that scene in Finding Nemo, when Dory and Marlin come up to a big trench, and previously a school of moonfish told Dory to swim through the trench, not over it. But when they get to the trench, she can't remember that happening. She says to Marlin, "Something tells me we should swim through it, not over it." And Marlin is like, "What? Are you crazy?" Then he tricks her into swimming over the trench, but then they end up having to swim through all these stinging jellyfish. Yep, that's what I feel today will be like. You've been given good opportunity after good opportunity with all these sextiles from the moon to take a certain path, but you may still find yourself in a sea of stinging jellyfish, Neptune. What can we do? Well, what did Dory and Marlin do? They find out through a bit of trial and error how to navigate through the jellyfish without getting stung, and I think that's our best course of action. Figure out how to get through without getting dosed by toxic energy or lost in the flowy, dreamy tentacles. Let's move on to the card for the day. The card for the day is, this may not be a perfect circle, but it is a perfect whatever it is. The little instructions book that comes with this deck reads, this may not be a perfect circle, but it is a perfect whatever it is. Comparison is not true perception. The nature of reality can be known through direct revelation. I feel that this card is about accepting who we are and what our situations are without guilt, shame, or condemnation. We may be comparing our life to what we deem is a perfect life, and the reality is there is no such thing as a, quote, perfect life. My opinion is that the perfect life concept has been created by authors of fairy tales, starting at least hundreds of years ago, and sold to us at an early age to try to get us to buy into a certain paradigm. The reality is, as the card suggests through direct revelation, that those fairy tales rarely, if ever, come true, and people don't just live happily ever after completing X, Y, or Z. But because we are sold this idea when we are young and impressionable, we believe it and then spend a lifetime chasing some imaginary, impossible, and unattainable reality. What they leave out in these stories is that it takes dedication, work, and practice to get good at just about anything, and that includes being happy. Happiness doesn't just happen to you. It's a state of being, and that starts with yourself and your own acceptance of who you are. So I feel that this card is reminding us that there is no such thing as perfect, and the sooner we let go of that and accept what is real and love whatever that is, the better off we'll be. Let me know if this reading resonates with you in the comments. I hope this is helpful. Until tomorrow, AstroMommy.
Thank you for reading or listening to the Daily Horoscope. Quick links and resources can be found at the bottom of the newsletter. Today's card was pulled from the Morgan's Tarot, available on Amazon. If you seek knowledge and enlightenment, the AstroMommy Newsletter may be right for you. Side effects of reading or listening to the AstroMommy Newsletter are common and include joy, jubilation, delight, happiness, gratitude, love, triumph, feeling in tune with the universe, experiencing deep insights, reflections, and contemplations, a lightened soul, a lighter step, feeling awake when others are asleep, illuminated, enlightened, having spiritual experiences, noticing repeating numbers, animals in nature, or songs on the radio that speak to you, getting vibes, clairvoyance, clairaudience, and clairsmelliance, feeling like you know secret language, biophilia, crying tears of joy, emotional literacy, feeling lively, stable, exalted, having an auric glow, or feeling like you woke up on the right side of the bed have all been reported. If you purchase anything through the affiliate links that I provide in the newsletters, I will make a very small commission. Thanks for listening.